we call this month When Stupid Happens. Hey, kind of catchy. Let me ask you guys something and be honest. Have you ever done something stupid? Have you ever made a stupid choice? Have you ever said something stupid? Like you wish you could take it back? You wish you could undo it? You wish that you hadn't participated? Or maybe you wish you hadn't downloaded it? Uploaded it? Whatever. There's a scripture, James 3:2, one of the apostles. And he wrote this, he says, we all stumble in many ways. Anyone who is never at fault, they say is perfect, able to keep their whole body in check. So I prepped it by saying exactly that. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. And I want to let you know that. You're going to. Okay? Even in times when I felt like I was prayed up, I felt like I was capable of saying this is a great choice, this is a great thing to do. You know, sometimes it was just me, my own personal emotion, wanting something to be. You know? One example of that would be my first marriage. And I told you, I always want to be transparent with you because I'm not perfect. But what I thought was going to be something beautiful, that I thought it was love and there was no way that anyone was going to say anything, that man, God had to place this together. There was a lot of things that just didn't fit. We were unequally yoked, man. There were some painstaking moments in there. But a result of that is I have some amazing kids. 3 of them, and there's a story behind them as well. But I want to go back to the decision, because even though I felt in my heart, I thought it was something, I was blinded to everything else. So I want to give you a couple of tools to use in your daily walk, because you will use them. Number 1, we know we're going to fail. We know we're going to fall. Okay. But here's what needs to happen. Number 1, you need to be responsible. What does that mean? I'm responsible for it. I messed up. You lay claim to it. One of the things as an assistant principal is that kids line up in my office with issues and drama and dilemma. And you want to know what the number 1 thing is they say? I didn't even do nothing. That's the number 1 thing. I didn't even do nothing. In order to learn, in order to grow, I should say, you have to be willing to learn from those mistakes. That's where you're going to achieve one of the greatest growths in your life. That's the second point. So number 1 is be responsible. Number 2 is be teachable. Learn from those mistakes. Learn. Why? Because guess what? You're going to be challenged again in the same area. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. You will be challenged the same way. Whatever it is for you, you will be challenged. Again, experience. You will be challenged. So be teachable. Learn what it is from it. Some folks don't learn from it. And they live with that misery their whole life. They live falling down every single week, every week in, week out, fall into the same delusions, fall into the same situations. Getting up the next day, figuring out, man, it happened again. It may not be that for you. It may be your temper. It may be how you handle the stress of things that happen around you. How you decide to respond to someone who loves you, like a mom or a dad. It may be being irresponsible, not taking the initiative, not taking ownership of what is yours. So be responsible. Be teachable. Here's another key point. You have to learn to be humble. Humble. See, I find it so ironic sometimes that some of the kids that enter back, these are guys that walk down the hall that like to talk about it. Almost like a badge of honor, as if it was a good thing. See, when you start disconnecting and you start unplugging from everything, it ends up becoming your life that you're just crumpling away slowly and just disregarding. You have to be willing to say, okay, I've learned. There's some things I need to work on. There's some things that need to happen with me. And it's showing that sense of remorse. Like, I really am sorry for that. I really didn't mean to fuss at you, Mom. I really didn't mean to talk back to you, Dad. I really didn't mean to be disrespectful to you. I didn't mean to be defiant to you. I didn't mean to say the ugly things, the hurtful things that I said to you. Because I was angry, because I was upset. Because I didn't know how to handle it. Because I heard somebody else say something and I thought it was me. I thought they were talking about me. I thought they were looking at me. I'm trying to be real with you. Because we've all been there. And here's the thing. We can be very judgmental of others. We can look at others and say, man, that was stupid. We can be quick to action, to talk about somebody else. But if you're reflective and you look at you, how many times has it been you? How many times has that person been you? Avoid being judgmental of others. They face the same kind of battles. The same kind of war wages in their minds as well. So it's good not to judge. It's good not to look at others as beneath you. They're not good enough. They don't fit. Don't be judgmental. Something that I've really discovered as you're living, and you're going to find this to be true in your life, because as you grow and as you build relationships and you start to make those connections, you start networking, you're going to gain a certain value. We call that credibility. Some may say street cred. You know, they know who you are. They know what you represent. Credibility stands for something. That means you stand for value. That means you stand for purpose. Or you stand for the opposite. What do I mean by that? Again, I'm going to talk middle schoolers to you. Because those that are continual repeaters in trouble, often in situations, they always build this credibility to say, you're a troublemaker. You're a hardhead. You give people a hard time. You love to fuss. You love to argue. You love to use profanity. You love to be disrespectful. You love to be defiant. And every so often, that one kid will come in and say, this time I promise I didn't do anything. And I have that conversation with him. There's a statement that says your reputation precedes you. Your credibility precedes you. By the way you walk, by the way you talk, by the way you speak to others, by the way you interact. You're building credibility in who you are. You're creating value in who you are. When you speak speak into people's lives, when you encourage someone, when you pray over someone, when you reach out and ask for help. Yeah, even asking for help. That shows that you're vulnerable. That shows that you're willing to share and you need some help. Credibility. That's a huge piece. I want to close with one last one. And this one's a big one. Because often we hang on to certain things and we devalue ourselves. The biggest piece to closing a wound, to closing a chapter, to finalizing something is asking for forgiveness. That no matter what, even, listen closely, even if you're not in the wrong, even if it's not your fault, the biggest piece is to ask for forgiveness. You go back and you say, Mom, I'm sorry. Dad, I'm sorry. Grandma, auntie, uncle, even if it's one of your teachers. You hit a reset button and you work genuinely to rebuild, to start new, to start fresh. Young people, you're going to face some things in life. This is going to be relevant for you. Maybe you feel like you're coasting right now, but there's something that's going to come. These tools right here, I want you to put them into your heart, because in order to grow, in order to become who God's called you to be, there's certain things that you have to shift in your heart. Number one is be responsible. Number two is be teachable. Learn from those mistakes. Stay humble. Number three. 4, don't be judgmental of others. 5, establish credibility no matter where you are. Walk the walk, talk the talk, be who God has called you to be. And the final one, ask for forgiveness. So young people, I pray that this message resonates with you.